So we're all here for a very important purpose once again. We have to help our readers win their Tony pools and figure out who is going home with trophies on Tony Sunday. So are we all ready? Are we doing this?
Yes.
Okay, so let's pick a random category. Let's start with actually a good one. Let's do best performance by a leading actress in a play. So we have Nina Arianda, Venus and Fur, Tracy Bennett, End of the Rainbow, Stockard Channing, Other Desert Cities, Linda Lavin, The Lions, and Cynthia Nixon, Wit. Kathy Henderson, go.
As of last fall, I would have said Nina Arianda was a lock because what she does in that play, going back and forth between characters and accents, is really something special. But then here comes Tracy Bennett playing Judy Garland, and I would have to say she's by far the favorite.
Yeah.
This is the toughest race of the night, in my opinion. They all would be worthy of winning.
In the fall, Stockard Channing also. I mean, Stockard Channing is great in Other Desert Cities. We also have Linda Lavin in The Lions.
I think Linda Lavin might bring it home. I do. She was great in Other Desert Cities before she moved over to The Lions, and she's really funny, and she nails it, and she makes you feel for her, and you want to cheer when she walks out of that hospital room. That's a spoiler. But she's really great.
I'm going to go back to Nina, though, and say that I think last year, there's no real way of knowing this, but, you know, she was great in Born Yesterday, and I think she could have been the runner-up that night, so a lot of people who maybe couldn't have voted for her last year want to show her some love this year. And as amazing as Tracy is, I think people are very protective about Judy Garland. They have their ideas of how she's supposed to be and what they want to see.
I have heard people say that. I have heard people say.
And even though I think she's doing an amazing job, but she's not the first person to play Judy Garland, and she's not going to be the last.
Timmy Blanchard. Timmy Blanchard played Judy Garland.
I think it could be a five-way tie.
You always say that.
But no, I think it's going to be Tracy Bennett.
It's an amazing list of women. I mean, it's like an all-star category. You're right. It should be a five-way tie. I am going to predict that it will be Tracy Bennett with a potential Nina Arianda surprise. Anyone else?
Deal.
All right, let's mix it up. Let's do featured actor in a musical. Why don't we? Philip Boykin, Porgy and Bess, Michael Cerveris, Evita, David Allen Greer, Porgy and Bess, Michael McGraw, Nice Work If You Can Get It, and Josh Young, Jesus Christ Superstar. Again, great category. Josh Young, I don't know if anyone in this room saw Josh Young in Jesus Christ Superstar.
I saw it last night.
You did see it, okay. So you've seen the Tony-nominated performance. He obviously missed all the press performances, but now I guess all the Tony voters are seeing him.
I'm saying it's David Allen Greer.
I'm also leaning towards David Allen Greer. I mean, it's interesting because Michael McGraw won the Drama Desk, right? Michael Cerveris awesome. is a past winner, but I think it's David Allen Greer. Beth?
Ooh, this is so tough. I think Cerveris might win.
Yeah.
That's my feeling. I feel some energy around Michael Cerveris. But I would be happy with pretty much anyone in this category winning. They're all amazing.
Even Josh Young, who you didn't see.
Even Josh Young, because that part is amazing. And if he can sing it enough to get nominated, I think that he should be in there.
It would be incredible if Josh Young won the Tony and none of the New York press saw him. Like, we'd all have to go see Jesus Christ Superstar and see this Tony-winning performance. But all the voters are seeing him.
Don't count out Michael McGraw. I mean, he's a big asset to the community. Everyone loves him. He's great in everything he does. I mean, it doesn't matter how small.
He should have won a Tony for Spamalot. He was hilarious in Spamalot.
To me, he was the most consistently funny, and he kind of gets a bit with each actor in the show. He runs, mainly he's running off on stage back and forth the whole time, very frantically in a funny way, and he gets his bit with Kelly, he gets a piece with Matthew, Judy.
Kathy, what do you think? Who's going to take home the Tony?
Michael McGraw.
Michael McGraw.
With Michael Cerveris as the runner-up.
Okay.
I'm thinking David Allen Greer. I think there is the possibility of a split between the two Porgy guys, but Allen Greer is a little more recognizable. He's got his great moments with his two songs.
I'm personally thinking David Allen Greer, but I wouldn't be surprised if any of these guys won.
Same here.
Let's do leading actress in a musical. So we have Jan Maxwell in Follies, Audra McDonald, I think she's won in the past, Porgy and Bess, Kristen Milioti of Once, Kelly O'Hara, Nice Work If You Can Get It, and Laura Osnes, Bonnie and Clyde. Kathy, what do you think about this category?
My heart says Kristen because I think she is the driving force of that show. She brings all the humor, plays the piano, everything. But I'm thinking Jan Maxwell might actually win this time because this is her 5th nomination in 5 years. And She was awesome.
I think a lot of people think Audra is a sure thing in this category.
I don't particularly feel, do you feel that way? I'm not sure that I think that this time.
I did think it up to, it's funny, I just saw Follies again in Los Angeles, and I mean, Jen Maxwell is incredible in that show. Kristen Milioti is a total surprise. I didn't know who she was a year ago, and you're right, she does ground that show in a lot of ways. And you do walk out saying, who's that girl, and where are we gonna put her next? It's hard to say. My gut says that it will ultimately be Audra McDonald.
I know my 5-way tie thing is tired, but I really think
It's just not possible,
No, but
actually.
seriously, I mean, each one of these ladies deserves an award.
You're putting your gambling money on one person.
Always Audra.
Always Audra.
Yeah.
Beth?
Audra.
Audra.
I think Jan Maxwell nailed it. I mean,
Yeah.
I agree with you, Kathy, but
Yeah.
I think Audra's going to take it home again.
I still wish that Jen Maxwell won for Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
She was great.
It was hilarious.
Yeah.
So what do you think?
I want it to be Jan, but I think it's hard to bet against Audra.
So it's Audra, possibly Jan. Okay, speaking of Follies, I want to talk about leading actor in a musical because we have Danny Burstein from Follies, Jeremy Jordan, Newsies, Steve Kazee once, Norm Lewis, Porgy and Bess, and Ron Range for Follies. And I just have to say, Danny Burstein, again, seeing the show again, I don't know how he can't win a Tony Award. It's a shame that it closed so many months ago, but God, I really want Danny Burstein to win a Tony. I mean, I love Jeremy Jordan, and I love Steve Kazee and Norm Lewis and Ron Range. So what do you think, Bruce?
I think it's going to be Danny Burstein, but Jeremy Jordan, you know, he's got the Hollywood look. I mean, you can see Newsies. I mean, he is the whole show. He really is.
He's carrying it.
Yeah, totally.
Beth?
I was really nicely surprised by Norm Lewis doing such a deep role, which I
Yeah.
really liked. But I think Steve Kazee has a shot here as the dark horse after Danny.
I agree
Oh, I
with that.
agree, I
I
agree.
agree with that. You know, the problem with Follies is these 4 parts are all sort of the same size, and they're not like the Mama Rose, one
Right,
person.
it's true.
In some ways, if they could have cheated a little bit and moved Danny Burstein into featured,
Oh, it would have been,
for whatever
it would have been a done
reason,
deal.
he'd be up there holding it.
Done.
Yeah.
But I think Steve Kazee is the dark horse.
Yeah.
Michael?
I'm gonna go.
Put your money on it.
To me, it comes down to Danny and Jeremy. I'm gonna go Danny.
Cool. Let's go to best revival of a play. So we have Death of a Salesman, Masterclass, The Best Man, or if you prefer Glory Vidal's The Best Man, and Wit. Bruce, go. Who's winning a Tony?
Death of a Salesman.
It's kind of the event of the
I have
year.
been avoiding that show for years, but
Why?
I was told
Why?
because
You've never seen it before?
I've never seen it before, and I sat there and I literally was mesmerized the entire time.
Okay, do any of these other shows have a shot?
No.
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 All right, well, this is the easiest category of all then.
Yeah, that's easy.
Let's move on, shall we? Okay, featured actor in a play. Christian Borle, Peter and the Starcatcher, Michael Comsty, End of the Rainbow, Tom Eden, One Man, Two Governors, Andrew Garfield, Death of a Salesman, and Jeremy Shamos, Clybourne Park, Michael Mellini.
These are all my favorites in this category. I think it comes down between Christian and Andrew Garfield.
For when I saw Peter and the Starcatcher, it was one of those moments, and I've had these moments in the past. The one that comes to mind is Lilias White in The Life, where I went and saw a show and I went, Tony Award, okay, moving on. I feel
Last
like
year.
Christian Borle is hilarious in Peter and the Starcatcher, and I feel like it's a done deal.
I would also throw I Love Me Some Tom Eden.
Oh,
He totally
he's
steals
hilarious.
the scene, but
Completely hilarious. But he got
He's a scene
nominated.
stealer.
Yeah.
The nomination, unfortunately, is
and he's
honor
a scene
sometimes.
stealer where they are doing a lot in the whole show. So
Kathy?
I think Christian Borle's going to win.
Yeah.
I love, let's have a little,
Jeremy Shamos?
yes.
I knew you were going to say
You
it.
knew I was going to say it. Oh my God. I love Clybourne Park so much, and he has the hardest part in it. I don't think he'll win, but hello, Jeremy, you're the greatest. But I'll say Christian because there's never been a scene like the scene that we probably shouldn't describe because it's a
Yeah.
spoiler.
Yeah, there's
Okay.
a great comedic scene.
It's definitely Christian or Garfield, but don't forget everyone who sees Governors doesn't know
Who Tom
who
is.
Tom is and what he plays, and when he comes out at the curtain call and you realize, wait a minute, this guy is like 30 years old.
Right,
playing
an
that
old
role,
crotchet, right, hilarious.
playing an old man who just is ridiculous, and that's acting. That's character acting. That's 101. And I mean, hey.
So you're saying Tom Eden for the win?
No.
You're taking your wallet out, you're putting it on somebody. Who are you picking?
Oh, I hate this. I would like for
Take your time.
Christian Borle to win.
Beth?
Okay, I'm gonna be different here. I love Christian Borle's performance. I thought he was hilarious. And I love everything that comes out of his mouth off stage too. I think he's a great guy. I think Andrew Garfield will win. I think Tony loves movie stars. Scarlett Johansson won, Catherine
Yeah.
Zeta-Jones won. I think there's a lot of steam around behind Salesman, as you
Yeah.
said, and he surprised me. He
Yeah.
was really emotional. He really made that part work.
His accent.
I mean, the part
was
works
great.
as it's written, but he really nailed it. So I
He
think
was
he's
the
gonna-
best. I've probably seen it 5 different Biffs, and he was by far, I thought, the
Best Biff.
best
Best
Biff.
Biff.
Best Biff and Shaw. Let's go back to musicals. Featured actors in a musical. Elizabeth A. Davis for Once. Jane Howdyshow for Follies. Judy Kay, Nice Work If You Can Get It. Jessie Mueller, On a Clear Day You Can See Forever. And Divine Joy Randolph of Ghost.
I think Judy Kay will win. I think the community loves her. I think she was great. She can sing her face off. She hangs from a chandelier.
She's fantastic.
She's always working. She's a great asset to this show, and I think she's going to win.
I mean, 3 newbies and 2 like constantly working actresses. I would have given awards in many shows they've done.
Jane Howdyshow is a great actress.
I
but
mean-
there's not much to her role. I mean, she sings Broadway Baby really nicely. She wears a nice frizzy wig. She's a crazy cat lady.
She sells it, right?
I'm surprised there weren't more Follies in that nomination.
Oh yeah, we had Elaine
Category,
Page, we had
yeah.
Terry White, other
Yeah.
people who.
But I'm going to throw it out there. I want Divine to win. I want her to win. I think she doesn't do Whoopi Goldberg. She does enough, but she is hilarious, and I didn't expect to like her.
And she'd give a great speech.
I mean, oh my God, that speech would be off loud. But Judy Kay is Judy Kay.
I think ultimately it's Judy Kay.
Yeah,
Michael?
I agree. I think Divine's role is very flashy, so that's attractive to people, but at the same time, there wasn't much love for Ghost in other
Right.
categories, so I don't know if that affects it. And I don't think she has a shot, but I'll throw Jessie Mueller some love. She's
If Clear Day was playing,
We love Jessie
Yeah.
Mueller.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
There wasn't
I don't know
a
if
lot-
everyone saw Clear Day.
there wasn't a lot of
Yeah, they
love for
did.
the show, but every person who came out of that show was talking about her.
Yeah.
Like you said, they love their fresh people. That would be the perfect like.
If it
star
was still
sport.
playing,
Or even if there was a
Slam dunk.
CD of it.
Slam dunk.
I mean, the singing isn't even captured on a CD. I mean, it was.
Slam dunk. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's go to a hot race. Best play. We have Clybourne Park, Other Desert Cities, Peter and the Starcatcher, Venus and Fur. I think we all sort of think that any of these plays is deserving of the Tony Award.
Yes.
Bruce, who do you think will win the Tony?
I saw Clybourne, didn't think I was even going to be interested, loved it. Saw Other Desert Cities, off Broadway, bam, loved it again, on Broadway. Like
Bam!
after I saw each of these shows, I was like, that's the best play. That's the best play. That's the best play. I mean, I saw the other version of Venus, and it was best play.
And there are probably 4 other plays that we could put on this
Oh yeah,
list.
there was
Yeah, there was so many
five
plays.
Man, 2 governors.
But it's rare that I, in any year, go in and say, that's best play. And I did it 4 times. And I want Peter and the Starcatcher to win. I have to say, I don't remember feeling so emotional and transfixed at the end of that second act where I was like, whoa. I'm sorry, I didn't expect that. But Other Desert Cities,
I don't think this is a safe choice, but I think Other Desert Cities will win. I think John Robin Bates will win a Tony.
don't count Clybourne out because I'm telling
I'm not
you,
counting it out. I think that's the safe choice, actually.
It is honestly like, I've never seen anything like it.
My parents said it was the best play they've ever seen.
Amazing.
Robbie Bates is my favorite playwright ever.
Yeah.
But this year, I think I would have to go with Clybourne Park simply because it's so timely and different. But I wouldn't be surprised. This is the one that I really don't know what's going to happen when they open the envelope.
Peter and the Starcatcher could easily win.
Do you think so?
I do.
I do.
I really do. I think there's a lot of energy around it.
I am not even kidding. I can't imagine.
Wow. Who says Other Desert Cities?
I haven't said
I
anything
say a
yet.
four-way
I'm-
tie.
Stop it. Who's gonna win? Am I the only one that says other desert cities will win?
I think it has a very, I don't know.
Come on, people, let's do
I can't
this.
say that. I think Peter's going to win.
I will say that maybe now that Other Desert Cities has announced a closing,
I'm
that
worried
doesn't
about that.
help it. So people will say, okay, well, Claiborne's going to keep running. We'll give it to that. Claiborne also got the Pulitzer, which I don't know if that helps. And
I mean, obviously, Claiborne Park is so timely. It's about race and hot topics, hot button
Economy.
topics.
I
Flipping
feel very
houses.
passionately about this category, and I really want Other Desert Cities to win. I really deeply want Other Desert Cities to win. I don't think it will. I think Clybourne Park it won the Pulitzer. I didn't think it should win the Pulitzer, I should say that, but I think that Other Desert Cities is a more traditional play, like you said. It's got a clearer narrative. I think Peter and the Starcatcher is a little bit like Warhorse in the sense that the production is amazing. I'm not so sure about the text being as amazing as the production. I was blown away by the production.
Okay, so Bruce, who are you picking? Who's gonna win? Peter.
Yeah, Peter.
Peter, Claiborne, Other Desert Cities.
Claiborne.
I sort of want to change.
You said Claiborne.
I did say it. But I love you, Robbie Bates. Cities.
I totally love him. I just think that, I don't know, Peter came out of nowhere and was like, boom.
Tough year.
It's not.
This is
It's
a
really
tough one.
hard.
So everyone, predict whatever you want because
Yeah.
we're torn on that.
Okay.
Okay, let's do leading actor in a play. Let's do James Corden, One Man, Two Governors, Philip Seymour Hoffman, Death of a Salesman, James Earl Jones, The Best Man, Frank Langella, Man and Boy, and John Lithgow, The Columnist. Beth, you go first.
I think Philip Seymour Hoffman will take it home. I think the dark horse here is James Corden. He makes a very scripted part seem completely off the cuff, and that's amazing and awesome.
Okay, go ahead.
But I think ultimately Death of a Salesman was the event of the year in many ways, and I think Philip Seymour Hoffman will be honored for that.
I think it's James Corden, actually,
Really?
for the win. I do.
Wow.
I think he is hilarious. And yeah, Willie Loman is an amazing role, and Philip Seymour Hoffman is obviously delivering, but I'm going with James Corden.
James Corden's role is the Philip Seymour Hoffman equivalent in a comedy. But also, you know, when you're putting it on paper, it's Death of a Salesman, this iconic play. You got this great Oscar-winning actor doing it too. I think it's a very, like you said, they love movie actors. It's a very safe thing. I think it's a very close race, but I do think it's Phillips.
What do you think, Kathy?
I think Philip Seymour Hoffman is going to win. As I understand, his performance got even better as the run of Death of a Salesman went along, and that's when a lot of the voters will have seen him in the last couple of weeks.
Right.
It was a gorgeous production with the original set, the original music. I think it would take a lot for him not to win. I would say he's going to win.
Bruce?
James Corden. I think he's going to win because I think everyone who attends that just enjoys it, and there's a different level of enjoyment than Philip. Even though Philip's brilliant, I'd like him to win too.
I just want to take a moment to say that James Earl Jones was amazing. I was blown away by his performance, but I think he belonged in the featured actor.
Oh, feature,
Yes.
totally.
And then I think
Totally.
he should have won that category, but I don't make the rules. But he was really wonderful in The Best Man.
All right, let's do Best Revival of a Musical, shall we? Evita, Follies, Jesus Christ Superstar, and Porgy and Bess. Michael Mellini.
I think for this one, it's down to Porgy and Bess and Follies.
Yeah.
And Follies has such a history to it, and I think a lot of people think that with this production, they finally got it right. But Porgy and Bess also is still running, and there's Audra Love that I think kind of sweeps into that. So, gonna go Follies, but I wouldn't say it's a safe bet.
My two favorite nights in the theater this entire season were Follies and Jesus Christ Superstar.
Yeah, you loved it.
Oh my God.
You're a little bit of a Des McAnuff groupie.
I
Not a
really
little bit.
Jersey
am.
Boys.
I really am. And they're across the street from each other on Des McAnuff
Kathy's
Way.
favorite block.
Yeah. So I'll have to say I think Follies is going to win.
I loved Follies. I would see Follies again if it was playing here tomorrow. I think it's going to come down to Follies or Porgy. I'm saying Follies.
As am I. I'm saying Follies.
Follies.
I mean, it was done before unsuccessfully, and this is like
I like it.
everyone loves it. It's like
I like the roundabout production
I like
too.
Oh, well,
Follies
yeah.
as a show. It's It's a great show.
But so we all say Follies.
Follies.
Yes.
Poor Game Best could win, but we're all going with Follies.
Follies.
Okay. Best featured actress in a play. Linda Eamon, Death of a Salesman. Spencer Caden, Don't Dress for Dinner. Celia Caden Bolger, Peter and the Starcatcher. Judith Light, Other Desert Cities. And Condola Rashad, Stickfly. Bruce
I
Glikas.
love each of these
We know,
ladies
we know.
separately.
We all love them
It's
all.
Judith Light.
Judith Light for the win.
The win. Slam dunk.
I really thought Judith Light was going to win. I really did. But lately, I'm feeling like maybe this will be the way to honor Peter and the Starcatcher with Celia Keenan Bolger, and she'll get up there and everybody will cry, and it will be a really wonderful speech. She'll be the Nikki James of this year. The Bumblebee.
She kind of is a bumblebee.
I love Celia Keenan Bolger, and I could see that happening.
Oh,
I think
it'd be
people
nice.
love Judith Light. I am saying the safe money's on Judith Light, but I see your point, and I could see that happening, and I would probably be one of the people crying.
I think Linda also has a big shot. You know,
She
it
does.
could be a
a
three-way
great role.
sweep for all the
Another favorite.
salesman actors. That would not
She's
surprise
done
me at
so
all.
much.
But like you said, you know, this is Judith's second nomination in a row. There's so much love for her in the community, and she's awesome in the part. So
And for people who saw it off Broadway and saw Linda Lavin do it, she does a completely different take on the role, which is amazing. She plays it a lot more addict, alcoholic.
Exactly.
Just different. And I think that's really a great choice on her part. So that's a
Kathy?
safe money, I guess.
You know, I've been looking online, and all these so-called expert sites are saying that Linda Eamon's going to win, and that had not even come into my consciousness that might happen. Having seen Elizabeth Franz give the greatest performance in this role,
And she did win.
possibly-
Elizabeth Franz
and she won.
did win.
So it is a Tony-winning role.
Yeah.
Let's give it that.
I think it's a safe, yeah, I think it's,
But you've got Philip, you've got Andrew Garfield. I'm just gonna go out there and say that Celia is the glue that holds Peter and the Starcatcher together from start to finish.
Yeah.
What she does is really difficult, and I'm gonna do a little Celia love here and say she's gonna take it.
it sounds like we're split between Celia and Judith Light.
I will
Yes.
say Condola gave some of the best eye rolls and eye glares I've ever seen. Not that the rest of her performance isn't good. She was fantastic the whole thing. But I'm just hoping if she doesn't win, whoever walks up that stage, the camera gets Condola giving a good eye glare.
So let's talk quickly about the director races. We have director of a musical. We have Jeff Calhoun for Newsies, Kathleen Marshall, Nice Work If You Can Get It, Diane Paulus, Poor Game Best, and John Tiffany for Once. I think that Once would be lost without John Tiffany. I think he made a movie that I actually don't like very much into a beautiful stage show that I love, and I really credit him with it. So I think it's John Tiffany. What do you guys think?
Definitely the opposite of what you said. He took a movie that I love and made it even better. And yeah, and it wasn't just a carbon copy paste job of this is the movie now on stage. It's a totally different thing, and it works.
Very creative.
wonderfully.
Kathy?
Yes, I agree.
I mean, Jeff Calhoun obviously made a big hit with Newsies, but John Tiffany, the work feels more unique.
I think John Tiffany. I think he really did a great job. John
As they
Tiffany.
say in Ghost, ditto.
Okay. And then director of a play, it's an interesting race. So we have Roger Reed and Alex Timbers together for Peter and the Starcatcher, Nicholas Heitner, One Man, Two Governors, Pam McKinnon, Clybourne Park, and the legendary Mike Nichols, Death of a Salesman. Kathy, what do you think?
Mike Nichols. How can they not?
Well, because Peter and the Starcatcher, it's interesting. I wonder if the fact that there's two directors hurts
Yes.
Peter and the Starcatcher.
And that you could almost think that it's almost like choreography, what they do, rather than guiding particular performances.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. But they had a lot to do with bringing that to life, so of
Yeah.
course, they're fantastic.
It's very inventive and creative. I really love the direction of Peter and the Starcatcher, but I would put my money on Mike Nichols.
I agree. I think Peter and the Starcatcher has the most direction, and not that that's a bad thing, but I would love to see them win, but I think it's hard to bet against Mike.
Or the most
Nichols.
obvious direction.
Yeah.
And we have to shout out to the other two because Pam McKinnon holds that ensemble.
Amazing ensemble.
And there's not a weak link in that ensemble.
Yeah.
And Nicholas Heitner takes,
Heitner, yeah.
yeah.
But
Who's gonna win? Who's gonna win,
Nichols
Bruce?
is gonna win.
Yes,
Nichols is
gotta
gonna
win.
win.
yes.
Really quickly, best choreography, Rob Ashford, Evita, Christopher Gattelli, Dancing Newsboys, Stephen Hoggett Once, and Kathleen Marshall, Nice Work If You Can Get It. Is it a lock for Chris Gattelli?
Yes.
Was that amazing?
Yes.
Yes, I love Rob Ashford's work.
Oh my God, the Buenos Aires
That's right, yeah.
choreography is
Yes.
incredible.
But there's no love for Evita this year. unfortunately.
Even Stephen Hoggett, you know, it's kind of the John Doyle school of let's dance and act and play our
Subtle.
instruments at the same time, but it's very moving.
So who do we all think? Catelli?
Catelli.
Catelli, done
Chris is
deal.
winning.
Done
Chris is
deal.
winning.
So book, so obviously there's Harvey Firestein for Newsies, Enda Walsh once, Douglas Carter Bean, Alyssa Starter Jones, Jodie Pietro, nice work if you can get it. So is it between Newsies and Once?
Yes.
Yeah.
Harvey Firestein, I believe, has never lost a Tony race.
That's
Is
right.
that correct?
He's
We
got
do
it
love
pretty good.
Harvey.
We do love our
And
Harvey.
he did take this movie, and
He made
it is
it was a
heavily
flop.
adapted.
The movie was a flop.
The movie was a flop, but he also, I mean, he really looked at, you know, he made a love story. I mean, he definitely built it up.
It's creative, totally creative.
This is tough. I
I
think.
will also say though, with that example, the movie Once is just those two characters the whole time. None of the new characters were in the original movie that are now in the play that are very funny and carry the story as well. So they both have kind of totally restructured.
It's opened up, yeah.
So who's gonna win?
I don't know this one. I think it's hard to bet against Harvey, but I think it could be Enda.
You're saying this is the first year Harvey Firestein is gonna lose a Tony race?
Oh, don't put it that
Well,
way.
yeah, when you say that.
Listen, Harvey's fine with his other 150 trophies, but I'm just saying.
So do you think Harvey's
I
gonna
think
win?
Harvey's going to win.
I'm saying that Once has a slight edge for Book,
Yeah.
but I won't be surprised if Harvey wins.
Right.
So the best score, we have plays and musicals mixed. We have Peter and the Starcatcher. We have Newsies. Some of the songs in Newsies are eligible. One Man, Two Governors, and Bonnie and Clyde. Interesting.
Gotta be Newsies.
Is it Newsies for those songs?
Yeah, I think when people are voting, they're probably aware that it's all new, but they're not going to sit there and analyze, well, did I like these 4 new songs? And truthfully, it is a way to say, like, well, he did write these songs at one point and they're great. I would like to give One Man, Two Governors a shout out
Yeah.
because usually when plays are nominated, it's like, all right, we had to throw them in because there was nothing else. But this is an example where not only are there great songs in it, the audience is very clearly seeing the songs because in between each scene, the band goes up on stage. And
But they also have nothing to do with
Right.
the show.
They're not
just
character
songs.
driven. I think it'll be
They
a
are
whole day in
delightful.
hell before a plays.
I think if it ever
It'd be
happens,
terrible.
this is the one time it would be justified.
I believe Newsies will win.
And we all think Newsies?
Newsies.
At the end of the day, we all think Newsies.
Yes.
Okay, so now let's talk about the musical race, because everybody wants to know what's going to win Best Musical. The musicals are Leap of Faith, Dearly Departed, Leap of Faith, Newsies, Nice Work If You Can Get It, and Once. And here we go.
This is stressful.
Beth?
It's the most stressful.
Stress you out.
It's between Newsies and Once. I think we
Okay.
all agree on that. I think Once is going to win. I think it's a beautiful production, and I think it's going to win.
It's a surprise. People love Once. I love Once. But Newsies is commercial. It's Disney. It is all over the world. It's going to be Newsies.
You think Newsies?
Yep.
I'm leaning towards Once. I think. They're both going on the road.
Mm-hmm.
I think Newsies is a slam dunk on the road, whether it wins a Tony or not. I think Once needs a Tony to sort of
Yeah.
explain to people
Yes,
this is a special show to go
absolutely.
see. So I feel like if the road vote is important, which people always say it is, I feel like it might be slightly swayed towards Once. But I'm saying Once.
I think Newsies is gonna win. When it comes down to a choice between the popular hit and the art musical, whether it's The Dead or it's Next to Normal, or I could probably come up with 5 others. The hit,
Ragtime Lion King.
exactly. And it's such an interesting story, Newsies. It's like Disney learned their lesson from
Tarzan.
Tarzan
Right.
and The Little Mermaid,
Yeah.
and just said, we're gonna do this a different way. I believe Newsies will win.
I
this
agree with what
musical.
you're saying about, you know, the bigger name always wins over the artistic choice, but I kind of think this is the one year that won't happen.
Me
So
too.
you're saying,
I think it'll be one.
okay, so Once, Newsies. That's it. We did it. We got through it. We're not doing design awards. Guess on your own. And I hope that everybody wins as much money as you can on Sunday night. Thank you, everybody.